Hi, this is the Gambia Team Project by Elizabeth, Jill, Kaylina, Ken, Levi, Ryan, Sheyla, and Victor.
Today I will be introducing the Gambia, a small but densely populated country in West Africa. It is the smallest nation on mainland Africa, stretching along the Gambia River and bordered it entirely by Senegal except for its Atlantic coastline. The country covers just over 11,000 square kilometers and has a population of 2.8 million people, growing at a rate of 2.25%. Despite its small size, the Gambia has a high population density of around 250 people per square kilometer, which is significantly higher than a neighboring country like Senegal. The Gambia is culturally diverse. English is the official language. Roughly half of Gambian lives in urban area, mainly in Greater Belgium area. The Gambia also has one of the lowest carbon footprint in the world, producing only about 0.29 metric ton of carbon dioxide per person.
Many of Gambia's goals and contributions are communicated in its Nationally Determined Contributions or NDC, which highlight its current and future efforts towards meeting the standards set by the Paris Agreement. To reduce greenhouse emissions, Gambia prioritizes protecting its natural resources and promoting energy conservation. Protecting biodiversity and land efforts can be seen through the use of agroecology. Increased use of renewable energies includes the use of solar power and wind power, which helps with energy conservation, more efficient ways of transporting resources, and lastly, improved infrastructure are only a few ways in which Gambia plans to reduce its GHG emissions.
The Gambia's greenhouse gas emissions have risen from about 2,700 kilograms in 2000 to just over 5,100 kilograms in 2020. But the country still emits only about 1 ton of carbon dioxide per person. Agriculture and forestry remain the biggest contributor, but transport and industrial processes are growing the fastest. Transportation produced about 203 kilograms in 2010 and make up nearly half of energy related to carbon dioxide. Industrial processes added around 800 kilograms. This rising sector explains why Gambia is prioritizing renewable energy and cleaner transportation to reduce future emissions.
Overall, the demand for energy has been growing about 5 to 6% each year because of the population growth and expansion of electricity access throughout the country. Historically, most of the country's electricity has been generated using oil-fired thermal power plants, which mainly burn heavy fuel oil and diesel, which are all imported. And this dependence of imported petroleum has made electricity quite expensive and unstable. Looking at all the types of energy used across the country, biomass, mainly firewood and charcoal, is the largest source, which is highly used for household cooking energy. Gambia's energy future is strongly tied to solar expansion with plans that include more battery storage, expansion of solar mini grids, and additional utility-scale solar PV plants. The country has announced national goals to significantly increase renewable electricity, aiming for about 50% renewables in the next decade.
The Gambia's sustainable plan for resources includes restoring degraded forests and agricultural lands to make them climate resilient and improving the ecosystem. This is to allow more resource-rich forests so local communities can access these resources, thus building a relationship with their environment and reducing strain on the country. An example of this is planting edible and indigenous plants, such as the cashew nut tree shown in the picture on the right.
Hi, this is Kaylina, and I'll be talking about the policies in place in regards to carrots, sticks, and sermons. So, first we have carrots, which they use carbon pricing, which utilizes revenue generated from it to support vulnerable populations affected by the shift to a low carbon economy and to invest in renewable energy sources. This also reflects the delicate balance between environmental imperatives and economic realities. Next, we have sticks, which Gambia uses plastic ban, which involves single-use plastic carrier bags and plastic water bottles, etc. This will contribute to very little global plastic pollution and it will minimize ocean contamination, being that many citizens of Gambia rely on ocean as a resource to live. Lastly, we have sermons, and Gambia focuses on Green Up Gambia, that focuses on community engagement and grassroots projects that align with empowering local communities to drive sustainable practices and promote environmental awareness. This initiates the importance for long-term sustainability on a more local level. Thanks. Passing on to next speaker.
Now you're probably wondering, how does specifically climate change threaten the country of Gambia? Well, first of all, it's important context that Gambia is extremely small and it's very water dependent. So keeping that in mind, climate change could severely impact the country by contributing to increased salinization, soil degradation, reduced agricultural yields, and even coastal erosion. According to some studies, a 1 meter sea level rise could potentially submerge over 8% of the country's land area. This is critical infrastructure and agricultural zones that could severely impact the economy and wellness of the people.
Our first case study is on the Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Project, or the EBA project for short. This project focuses on land restoration, resource management, and community outreach. The EBA project works to restore wetlands and community forests while ensuring that the local population has access to the resources that these lands provide. The community outreach makes sure that the citizens of the Gambia are educated on the policies and projects around the country and are able to have decision-making power.
For our second case study, we chose to dive deeper into the extreme weather conditions in Gambia. This includes flooding, storms, and sea level rise due to coastal erosion. This is caused by global climate change and the overall geography of the country itself. With current practices, the country average temperature will raise about 4 degrees Celsius by 2100. Although this seems like a long time, this temperature increase can greatly impact the agricultural and food security of Gambia. With our already fragile economy, it is hard to keep up with constant environmental problems. This is where Green Up Gambia comes in, and they aim to teach communities to plant seeds to promote environmental restoration along the coast. In conclusion, Gambia is a growing country. Reaching their environmental goals does not happen overnight. With their steady progress and new policies in place, they're on the right track. Thank you for listening.